Afternoon, fellow travellers. Today we have something a little different, a flip through of what we affectionately call our ugly journals. So a year or two ago we were following a tutorial by Michelle at Creative Cove in which she put together, it was such a simple make, it was just 2 bits of board, a bit of spine board, joined by a bit of fabric. I think it had, I think I used, it had elastic lace closure, and inside she put various folded pages for quickie sketches. Q and I both made one. We actually hated working into them. We weren't happy with the way things were. I think it was just tied in with elastic and everything was a bit loose, and anyway, really didn't like it. And one day we decided, no, let's not chuck them. They're still perfectly good. And we turned them inside out. So mine had been, what had I done? So this had been the inside of mine, because when I'd glued the, got to imagine this was turned inside out. When I'd glued whatever it was to the spine, everything had bled, like it had just made this huge mess. I think I'd stamped on it and it had not worked well. But turning it inside out, I suddenly thought, oh, okay. And so Q did the same thing, turned hers inside out, and we covered the messy bit of spine with some gauze. And then we decided it was going to be an ugly journal. We were just going to use things we didn't like. So we had these images from one of her gory books. I'll just flip through this one. I think hers is a bit longer. That might be a separate video, but because we went different directions, of course. So I chose these. Very bizarre, these. Some of these were really a bit grotesque for my liking. But anyway, I quite like this as an ugly journal thing. Thought, yep, okay. Green, almost never use green and yellow. And then it was really just, okay, now I'm going to build signatures with things that I don't, this was a bit of shibori dyed paper, but it hadn't taken much of the paint. But I thought, oh, well, this goes with this. Then, of course, being me, I had to tart it up a bit with something that I did like. These were see, they got all these little pockets everywhere and things in them. This was a using up book pages tag. Oh, there's another pocket there that we made right back at the beginning, which I don't like them very much. So in it goes, ugly journal. I did quite like the way this little monster was checking out what's up here. But put it together with scraps of things. See, I was never going to use this in anything. Same with that. Oh, this was some experiment or other. Oh, this is using a book page that's very cardstock-like. And this was a bit of the original paper that was in mine. This is some of Dad's science stuff. So I kept that. Used washi tape I'm not very fond of, with loud dyed paper. A jelly print that, hadn't really done anything very interesting, but I like it. What I love is that once you put things together, even though, this is like a Franken page that I really didn't like that, but hey, turn it into a pocket, cover it up with some stuff. On the back it's quite inoffensive. Add a few stamps, because why not? So, these are hidden paper clips with little doodads inside. Oh, look, little mushrooms. And some oxided papers. I hid the stitching with washi tape. I think that's the middle of this, because I actually, by the look of this, I machined I machined these together before. Oh, I don't remember now. Maybe I machined them to the... Oh, okay, so it's a hidden spine and I machined them onto the hidden spine and then glued that in. I've forgotten all this, obviously, it's so long since I made it. So apparently mine became a bit mushroom themed. Again, very early efforts at journal cards. Very early efforts. This is 3 signatures. And by the look of it, they're all going to be this similar kind of old jelly prints. Quite like this. I don't know why that's in the ugly journal. Old jelly prints, old Franken pages, and various oxided papers. And you know, now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, hey, it's not so ugly. It might be a bit out of my comfort zone, all these sorts of colours and textures. That's kind of cool. Put together, but they work. I like them. Maybe we need to think of another name for them. It is fun looking through things that you made some time ago and thinking, look at that, that's not so bad. And I don't remember doing that. These days, I must admit, when we come across scrapbook paper that we don't really like, we tend to bundle it up and give it back to the op shop and just keep the ones that we do want to use, because as most of you probably know, it doesn't take long for a stash to get quite out of control. Anyway, there is what I did with mine. And now, I don't think I've ever looked through this. Let's look at what Q did with hers. So her creatures have flowers growing out of their eyeballs. And for sale. Oh, look, so we followed a similar, we put it together the same way, stitching the signatures on the machine and then putting a hidden spine in. And we must have been raiding the same bits of paper. What has she done? Oh, look, a double tuck. I always forget about this, just adding bits of interesting folded paper in. Okay, so hers is much, much fatter than mine, so it's possibly because everything's been folded. That's clever, isn't it? A little tab for pulling. Oh, and she has things everywhere. You know, we bought this very old Japanese paper. I've not used it, I don't think, any of mine. She's much more generous. Oh, okay, so she's been putting little strips in a lot of these joins. I'm trying to work out, was that the middle? No, maybe it was. That would account for the extra bulk. Oh, as with that, that's a very thick piece of card. Great images. Cute. Yes. All right. Heaps of... Oh. Okay, look, you've got a whole nother little book here off to the side, which has also middle. Oh no, that's been just a pamphlet stitch into the fold of this paper. Isn't she tricky? And as if that's not enough, there's an extra bit of paper in there too. Well, no wonder hers is so fat. It has so much more. She did warn me that hers would take longer to flip through than mine, and she was right. It's nice images. Skulls. Always has to be skulls in whatever Q does. She's been making miniature books this week. And they're all to do with poisons. Well, no, that's not true. Some are dragons. Oh, that's nice old paper. So you can see, making a journal without worrying about how coordinated or, unified it looks, by the time you put everything in and add your own little touches to it all, it really does come together. Oh, I just lost a piece down there to get tweezers. Well, that's a nice use of an offcut of pretty paper. Look, it's a belly band on the edge though. Okay, I've never done that, but I like it. How to make extra things poke out the sides. But wait, there's more and more and more and more. Ah. Well, look at that. It's just napkin cut around the image and machine stitched and glued on as a tuck. Pocket, tuck, pocket, pocket. Alrighty, well, there we go. 2 ugly journals, which I might have to find another name for. But I think we did. There's another one, look, the belly band at the top this time. So you could leave that poking out as a tab. It's a little bit like painting. You know, if you try and do a beautiful picture, you're pretty much always disappointed. Whereas if you just let yourself go and have fun, you often paint the best thing that you've ever done. I can recommend the same approach for journals, or even for a page in a journal. It's probably why we love it so much, isn't it? We play, once you kind of let go of any preconceived ideas or expectations about what you're going to achieve, and actually just get into enjoying all the different colours and textures and possible arrangements, and how things bounce off each other and you get these unexpected juxtapositions of things. Sounds a bit wanky, but you know what I mean. That's what keeps us intrigued, entranced, in love. Enjoy. See you next time.